Okay, so I'm here with Victor Maruli, World War II and Korean War veteran with UDT-3. I just wanted to start off, if we could, Victor, asking you about your life before the Navy. Can you tell us anything about that?
Oh, I joined the Navy at 17, and I couldn't be married, couldn't have no steady girlfriend, and all my mail was censored. And I couldn't get married until they opened up and gave us permission to get married, which in 1951. And that's when I got married in 1952.
Did you have anything that you did in the Navy before you joined the UDT, or did you go straight into that?
Really?
Did you go straight to the UDT, or did you spend time in the Navy before that?
No.
No? Okay. Can you tell any stories about your training, how you were trained?
I went to, first of all, I went to, I joined the Navy when I was 17 because they were going to draft people 18 or better for the Second World War. And I volunteered at 18, at 17, got it, and I went to, they sent me to Hampton, New York for training. I got there supposed to be 5 weeks or 3 weeks because they had to want volunteers for when the world was getting up pretty bad. They wanted volunteers for divers. So I volunteered for diving, and they shipped me down to Texas because they had 2 PBMs that collided 85 feet in the air over Corpus Christi. And I had to go down to Corpus Christi with the divers that were down there to other bases. And I was the first diver down there, so and this is where I got all this stuff from. And I took up 22 bodies on the first dive. And because the reason why I volunteered, because when I joined the Navy, I was only making $10. They gave us $10 a month. That's what the pay was. So by diving, I gained, they paid me by the hour and by the foot. So I made more money doing that. That's the reason why I volunteered.
Did you consider yourself a strong swimmer before you got in the UDT?
Did I what?
Were you a strong swimmer before you got in?
Yes. I used to swim all the time. I was a good swimmer. I used to swim. I was able to swim underwater for a long while.
When your training was over with,
My training wasn't over all the way over, and they needed they took us down to the television went to Washington to see Roosevelt and Truman, and before Roosevelt died, that's when he made us. He gave us the Dr. Duck, called us the Dr. Duck outfit because the only thing I forget because he was crippled, he had polio. And we used to go to, went to Pearl Harbor, and we had to go to the 5 islands plus all the bodies we picked at Pearl Harbor. They put them in canvas bags and brought them over to the Enterprise in Arizona, and that's where all the bodies are because I think Truman is the one that stopped it. They didn't want to bodies sent home to the parents because there were only half the bodies most of the time. And legs, arms were pulling. So I grabbed the body one and picked them up out of the road and pulled his arm right off at the socket. And every day, my braves and I used to sit there in the corner and cry. Because we could see all these guys, what the Japanese done to our boys. It was something. And I remember our boys, it was the nurses, doctors. In fact, there was four Navy hospital ships with nurses and doctors on board and servicemen. And they got hit by the Japs. Something terrible to see. And from there, then I didn't spend too much time. From there they shipped me to Kodiak, Alaska, and I had to dive on an ice cutter that had a 60-foot split on the side of the wall line, and every time it froze, it would take water on it. So I had to weld it, and it took me over 10 days to weld that, because I had a full dress on, and they had the faceplate, the doctors opened the faceplate and pour on the 98 proof alcohol in me to warm me up. And I ended up with frostbitten feet that they were going to cut my feet off, and this Chinese doctor saved me. And they found out that somehow that they flew me from Kodiak to Seattle, Washington, to Navy Hospital, and they were going to cut my feet off there. And he said, no, send them down. They sent me down to San Diego Naval Hospital. The Chinese doctor said, no, I got to take his feet off. I lost all my toenails. And I got my feet back, but I fell off. I lost my legs now. Then, from then on, everything kept coming on, little by little. I ended up with the prostate cancer, throat cancer. I got three operations on the throat to cut out all this up. All underneath. I had no bottom teeth, no top teeth. I can't talk. I lost my hearing, I lost the sight.
After Alaska,
I went back to get in the ship. I was doing other work around diving, and from there, the Korean War started, and it made us frogmen. That's where they come out with the wetsuit. But when we had a snorkel and a pair of fins and a wetsuit, then when the Vietnam War started, they made us Navy SEALs. And we had full dress on, we had two tanks, and go anywhere you wanted. It was rough, but I liked it.
did you participate in any of the beach landings in World War II or in Korea?
The what?
Any of the beach landings?
No, the other ones I did run in, not, and I didn't go to, I didn't know that much action. The only action I seen was when we went to, the Philippines. I went in and, we had to get the picture here. Yeah, this is one. That's that bag, that bag that we're carrying right there. That 15 pounds of dynamite that we had to carry with us, and that's what we used to wrap around the obstructions that the Japs had. Their pyramids, the Japs out of stone and everything.
Remember the fish that would come and attack you? The sharks, the
Oh, yeah.
the barracudas? How did you get rid of them?
Yeah, well, they come, look at your face, look at you, and say, who the hell are you? Just grab the cup, shoot the air out of them and they take off. After we set the dynamite around the obstructions, we blast the whole front line so the boat would go in to drop because otherwise the Army and the Marines couldn't get into base to get to the Japs because the obstruction was stopping the boats from going in. So we went to, and from there we had to go to, we ended up in Vietnam. When Vietnam, we had to do Vietnam with the Incheon. And that's when they stopped it from then on.
What year did you leave the Navy?
1954, 55 took me there. Yeah, I went in 1942 to 1951 to 54.
Well, thank you for giving us this opportunity to record your story.
I
And
got a lot of memories,